Hey, Michael, what's up?
Hey, it must be Tuesday. Tuesday. Tuesday.
All right, let's go.
There
Yay!
we go. All right.
Wow, it took a minute. We had a little issue, but it's all good.
Good. Good. Very, very good.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome guys to Talk on Tuesday. I'm excited. Oh my goodness. And you know what, Michael, we have a brand new sponsor today.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
It's a mystery. Our new sponsor needed a drum roll. Drum roll, please.
okay.
And that sponsor is whoa, that's how exciting that was. So we'll leave you hanging on that one. We'll come back to our new sponsor in just a second. Since there's been some news coming to us early on, we want to kind of make an adjustment here. I know that you guys are checking out things online, social media. You've probably been seeing some things go viral. We'll get to that in just a second after we find out about our new sponsor.
Yes, I love my tech. Tonight's new sponsor is
Is
your gal shall. Oh my gosh. This
woo!
episode of Talk on Tuesdays is brought to you by your gal shall,
My gal.
the one-stop shop to buy books and download resources. Learn more about
Yeah.
your gal shall and how she's building the next generation of wealth one day, $1 at a time by visiting yourgalshall.com. And Kevin, thank you so much. He will be placing that in the chat.
Every dollar counts.
Every
Every dollar counts. It
yeah, so
does.
I totally don't know what happened, but we've been
100
experiencing
pennies.
uh,
Every
we've
dollar
been
is 100 pennies, and every penny
I
counts.
I know. I don't know what we were experiencing, but I
Penny
wanted to
for your
jump.
thoughts.
There
Penny
we
for your
go.
thoughts, Val. We're talking about today. Today, I guess that would be 2 pennies for your thoughts.
Oh, we're talking about the uniqueness of the date. The uniqueness of the
Tell me
date of
about it.
February 22nd, 2022. Michael, do you know the deuces are wild today, man? The deuces.
Deuces, huh? Deuces.
And
Mm.
ultimately I'm telling you it will happen. This date will not happen again and for another 400 years in 2422.
Can't wait to see that.
I don't think we'll be around for that.
No, sure. I don't know
I-
technology the way it's moving. We might be around. Maybe no.
right. And also, I wanted to give a Black History Month 2022 some history for you. This date back on 1989. DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince won the first rap Grammy for their single "Parents Just Don't Understand." Do you remember that song? Do you guys remember that song?
I just didn't understand how they won, and neither did they, because they did not show up to pick that Grammy up, did they?
Yeah. No, they did not. Do we remember what happened back then?
This is what happened back then, right? Hint, hint. That's
it
what
was
happened back then.
it was called they did not air the rap artists awards during that time in the Grammys, and everyone I believe that was nominated and eventually who won, they boycotted. So that was hilarious, but that was horrible what happened that they did not air it. But it the rap artists started to get aired, that particular genre started to get aired. And yes, Augustine was saying that was his jam back in the day. So
So
yeah.
Val, there was a time in which there was a time when an actual network didn't want to have Will Smith on. Isn't
I
that
can't
amazing?
believe it. Isn't that weird?
I mean,
After all the
especially since Will Smith is now carrying a whole streaming service on his back from a reboot of his old show. My goodness, the man is up for an Oscar. He's won a book
Mhm.
award, and now he's carrying a whole Peacock streaming service on his own. Because I can't run into nobody black that won't tell me about how they watched at least the first couple episodes of Bel Air.
That's right.
That thing is spreading faster than Corona. All right, everybody's watching that show.
Yeah, it's a very popular show, and we understand that. Well, they made Black History back 32 years. I'm sorry, 33 years ago in 1989 for winning, and they weren't there to pick up their gold. But yeah, that's how kind of how that happened. So
My goodness, yeah, our show is we can't air that Will Smith. He's just too radical for our audience.
and looks like Kevin, our moderator, said he loves the Bel Air show.
I have yet to run into somebody that doesn't like that show. I mean, there's so many different levels to it. I can
Yeah.
understand if you really love the nostalgia of the original show, you like watching it. I get that. I do understand it. But this retelling is brilliant. I
Yeah,
think.
and coach is saying in '89 it was about Public Enemy. All right, but yeah,
1989, a number, another
another
summer. Damn,
sit down. Sound of the funky drummer.
Pajama. Come on now.
That's what we did.
I
But you know
know.
what? I'm gonna since we talking about Coach. It's a little too early for our March Madness in my mind. I did not want to report this or talk about this. However,
No, Deuce is a
I
wow. Deuce is a
Deuce is a
wow.
wow.
So
Thank
see,
you.
here's the thing. Here's your segue.
Mm-hmm.
Deuces today.
Mm-hmm.
Jump shot. We're gonna take that jump shot right now, and we're gonna get an assist from our favorite sports expert, Coach Tony.
All right.
Woo!
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Coach?
Boom!
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. He's sitting there. Deuces is wild, but it's never too early. But speaking of that 1989, 89 was the number. Do the right thing. Come on,
Yeah, that
The
was
right?
that
right
was
thing.
So
Yeah, that's right.
when you look at it, Mike, it may have been a good idea that Fresh Prince and Jazzy didn't show up at that time. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Definitely. I think they understood. They understood. They were
They
opening
were
the
setting
door.
they were setting a trend though. That was
Oh,
called respect this genre of music. Don't diss us. Don't dismiss us, please. And
yeah,
it
Right.
was not.
No,
right.
yeah,
But the
definitely.
funny part about it was parents don't understand. Wasn't even a cut. Summertime was the jam.
But that was a couple of years later though.
A
But
couple of years
believe it,
later,
believe it or me, I believe parents just don't understand was the genesis for the actual NBC show Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I
Yo,
well,
believe.
well, the conversation with Benny Medina was the actual genesis. The conversation that Will Smith
Mhm.
has with Benny Medina, and then going on to
That's-
Quincy
Wait,
Jones, the great
wait
Quincy
a minute.
Jones.
Wait,
Who's
Michael.
the
Are
DJ?
we Do we see the original wax? Do we see this with Coach Tony for real?
He's the
I'm the
DJ.
DJ.
He's the DJ. Who's the rapper?
Come
I have
on now. I got to
If you
keep them
know the
tight up in the
DJ,
house.
who's the rapper?
Hey, I got whenever I need to hear something, Val, I need to put the vinyl on. You know, so I need to hear that real vinyl.
I
Co-
know.
Coach
I
Tony.
know.
Coach
Yes,
Tony,
sir.
one of the most underrated cuts in hip hop history is the brand new funk.
Oh man, it's the brand new
Brand new
funk.
funk.
No, 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 no. Yeah. Ooh. That
Oh wow,
bass
we're
line,
getting
the bass
wow.
line was the killer. I love the spit, but the bass line was the killer.
That Transformer cut from Jazzy Jeff. Jazzy Jeff doesn't get enough respect in hip
Brand new,
hop.
it's the brand new funk. Boom, boom. Hey, that was the jam, baby.
Get down.
Well,
Yeah,
I wanted to bring on Coach to talk about someone I didn't graduate with him. He was a year behind me. Jawan Howard. We both went to Chicago Vocational High School.
to the
I
video.
came out in 89. He came out in 90.
Yeah.
I used to tutor him. This was a long, long time ago.
Woo, you
And
could have
he
used
did-
you this weekend, Val.
He
You
did
coulda used some
19.
tutoring this weekend.
He did 19 seasons in the NBA, and now in 2019 was made the head coach of the University of Michigan Wolverines. And what happened on Sunday, the game between the Wolverines and Wisconsin, I don't know, man. He got upset. They was losing. It was supposed to be kind of a shake. You know, you shake the hands even if you lose. And Jawan lost it. And I'm trying to remember, did I ever see him lose it on the Heat? But it doesn't matter. You're a coach now. So as a coach, Coach Tony, what's your thoughts on Jawan's behavior?
Well, you know, first of all, let me send 3 shout outs to your class. Well, not your classmate, but your schoolmate. I got to send out to my boy, none other than Frosty the man, Frosty the Snowman, Rob Brown, CVS. I got to send out to my main man, Drew Hunter, CVS, and Corey Baker, CVS. All my homeboys flossing on the campus when we was getting North Central together. So, you know, Jawan was just getting a chance to mold himself.
Mm-hmm.
And Val, you know, and Mike, you gonna like this. You know, I've taken some 40, some 50 points. I just got thumped this weekend by 50. You know, did I want to jump on the coach? Hell yeah, I wanted to jump on the coach. But I knew as a coach, 2 things here. You know, I'm looking at the statements I went over earlier today. You know, Jawan apologized. Things got out of hands. But I don't know if you remember, Mike, you or Val, a month ago, some things got out of hand with the media, and Jawan told them then. I'm from the south side of Chicago, raised by my grandmama, and I was taught face confrontation head on. So I've been in that exact situation, not speaking a team name or nothing, where I didn't like the coach on the other side. But when the game is over, Val, you said it. The sportsmanship, you got to shake their hand. And I remember myself walking down the line, clapping hands, all the players. And when I got to that particular coach, I moved my hand out the way like that. And the head coach turned around, said something to my coach. Before I knew it, I lost it, never swung on him, but we were face to face. So I get it. And I think the thing that Jawan was so heated about, it wasn't a fact of the matter that they lost the game. It was a fact of the matter that they were getting beat by 15 plus, and you called a timeout with 15 seconds on the clock. Now, the game is over. It's out of hand. Now, if you had told me you were putting maybe a paraplegic athlete in a game or an athlete with a disability,
a senior, right? Maybe a
exactly.
senior.
Or a senior that never got off the bench. It's the last game. And we talked about this before the game started. I can see that. But then you call a timeout with 15 seconds to make a normal sub because you wanted to prove a point. And then when I walk off the floor, you impede my way, and then you grab me and put your hands on me. then that's a whole nother ball game. Now, I
Okay.
don't condone what he did. In
Mhm.
Michigan and the NCAA fined him $40,000. He's been suspended for the rest of the year.
Mhm.
Um, the assistant coach is going to go. Also, Terrence Williams II and Diabate, the freshmen, they were also suspended as well for one game. They were not fined any money, but Juwan was. And, the AD, of course, he's going to stand behind him. And it was a mistake, and hopefully everybody learned from it. But this goes bigger, Val, for you and Mike. This goes out to the pros. And these
Mhm.
younger guys are looking at the pros. Those two kids would probably never swung or had a fist fight if they wouldn't have seen what Juwan had done. But they're going to be behind their coach 100%. So when that happened, they jumped in 100%. Regardless of the outcome, they were all in. And unfortunately, when we look at our high school kids, this is the thing that we see. And I'm never a proponent when I look at the pros, for example, and when the game is over and Mike's on one side, I'm on the other side, and I just do like this, all right, and I turn and go the other direction. When since a kid, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, I've been told to turn the other way and shake hands. And then I become a professional. I don't even shake hands. I just go in my locker room. So
Mhm.
this is one of those stimulus. Does it have to get better? Sure it does. But unfortunately, Jawan's going to have to be made an example. And, and now, I don't think it's a nail to him leaving Michigan, but it just didn't look good. And Jalen Rose, who was his homeboy, said the same thing the other day.
Yeah.
If that
Yeah.
had been, Coach, if that had been anybody besides Juwan Howard with his ties, his deep ties to University of Michigan, would that coach have been fired?
That coach would have been fired on the spot. Not only would that coach have been fired on the spot, if it was anyone else with no deep ties to the university, they would have been fined. The money that they owed them, they would have not have paid them the remainder part of their contract. And if the other coach from the university wanted to take out a personal liability lawsuit, then the University of Michigan would have had absolutely nothing to do to support him. But being that it was Juwan, he knows he's a player, alumni, and he said it got to me. Michigan's going to stand behind him. Now, are they kicking him in behind the door, Mike and Val? Sure they are. Somebody smacking him? Sure they are. He's a young coach. He's only in his second season, and they're letting him know, we really want you here. You've turned the program around. We really want you here for the long run. But we can't take the south side of Chicago and Ann Arbor, Michigan, baby. It's just two different cities. And
Mhm.
I think he learned from it. And and I think next time he will handle the situation much, much better.
Now, having said all that, there is another element to it, and I want to mention some of this later on in the show. We're going to mention one of the most distinguished writers from the New York Times, who is honored by the NAACP. However, she did not write what I'm going to read to you here. This is a story from the New York Times that talks about what happened. I'm going to start it from here. The 6'9" Howard, formerly a longtime NBA player, Miami Heat assistant coach, member of
Right.
Michigan's famed 5-5 team, did not initially enter the handshake line on Sunday, but came in late. For what the coach was saying here.
Okay.
Here's the part that I have an issue with, which I think that this is why Coach Howard has to be smarter. Here's why.
Okay. Okay.
Guard, who was the Wisconsin coach, who is 5'11". Notice what's happening here? Guard, who was 5'11", grabbed at Howard's right elbow to get his attention so they could talk. Howard then tugged at Guard's shirt, pointed his index finger in Guard's face, and got into a heated discussion with the Wisconsin coach. That is an interesting retelling of what happened.
Okay. What makes
Because
okay.
do you hear what's happening?
Yep. And what's happening in that statement right there, Mike, and you tell me if I'm right or am I wrong. What's happening in that statement, I never heard that until you just read it. What's happening is a big person over dominating to a little bitty guy, and
Oh
I'm a
wow.
professional, and I should know better. But because I am 6'9" and this guy is 5'11", he should no way know how, whatever, be in my, even in my arena or my aura of thing. And I should have known better because I am the bigger person.
Not only that, here they're saying that the Wisconsin coach grabbed at Howard's right elbow to get his attention so they could talk.
It's not. It's not. When you impede my progress and you just put a foot in me and your foot's so deep you can't get it out. And I understand that. And I'm over the sideline, I'm soaking my wound. And then on top of that, you already see me laying here wounded. And then you decide to put your knee on my neck for 9.5 minutes, right?
Whoa, okay.
Now, you want to then talk to me. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me explain why I did such and such. I don't have time to hear all that. So the best thing should have happened would have been, hey, allow me to go to my locker, allow me to continue down this line, let me soak in my wounds, and let's do the noble thing. When the game is usually over, I can tell you, Mike and Val, the game is usually over. We go to our locker room, we talk to our kids, we debrief them. Some of these kids are crying. Some of these kids are hurt. Some of these kids are seniors. Some of these kids got professional aspirations. Maybe this was a game that a scout was in the stand. Maybe this was a game that the NBA was in the stand. And this game right here just hurt my chances to get into the league. Maybe this was a game that I personally call, hey, Mike, hey, Val, you good friends of mine. I know you guys work for a big agency, quote unquote, the Rich Paul, right? Come see my kid, such and such play. And then you get to the game, we get blown out, and my kid has a bad game. Is that representation? He maybe not can be a good pro? No, that's one game. Everyone has a bad one game. But then I explode. So now, as a scout at that NBA team, the reverse question to you and Val, what is the news you take back to your owner? What do you take back to your coaching staff and say about me as the head coach and the kid, Terrence Williams or Jabari, who got into a fight? What do you take back to that NBA scout? And 90 days from now, I'm supposed to be in camp.
Yeah, so, I think the underreported part of this is the fact that the Wisconsin coach got fined too, and he should have been. He should have
been fined.
He treated a grown man, a professional, like a child. See, you would grab a child's elbow and you would say, hey, let me explain it to you. See, you don't understand this because, see, I'm a coach of a team and I know you're just here. So let me tell you how it works in a game, Mr. Howard. Let me explain college basketball to you, Juwan Howard. See, that's the missing element. Now, is it Juwan Howard's fault? Yes, because even in that position, he cannot put his hands on somebody. Because outside of that basketball arena, that's assault, and you get arrested for it.
You get arrested,
however,
right? Yeah.
But the way that this is framed is that, the coach of Wisconsin was just trying to talk to him, just wanted to tell him about what happened at the game. No.
And he got $10,000. And he got $10,000.
Right, and it was a lower fine. Right, and it was a lower fine.
AD said we're gonna cover it.
We're gonna cover that. $10,000. We're gonna cover that. And the crazy part about that is, I still think there's one piece missing here, Mike. Once again, and I'm always on that side, man. 20 years in this game on this sideline, and I'm telling you right now, it's the kids. It's the kids. And if you go and you interview those kids, which no one did, I guarantee you, the kids from Michigan's response will be completely opposite, 180 degrees from the kids in Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
And where Juwan went wrong is, if he was going to put his hands on somebody, he should have put his hand on guard, who put his hands on him.
And I think he tried to. I think he reached out and tried to and missed him.
Yeah, I think his coaching staff grabbed him.
Yeah, they did. They were pulling him away. They were pulling him away.
Now the question is, what did the assistant coach say to Juwan to set him off that he swung at him? That's the key. No
No.
one said that yet.
No one's saying that, no. And I noticed that because his whole face darkened
Yes.
after the assistant coach grabbed his arm, and I was
Well,
thinking,
look,
well, then
look.
what did
He
he
said
say?
what? Look. He
And
said
that hasn't been discussed. That
right.
in
He
fact,
said if
What
you
did
read his
he
mouth,
say?
Val, he said, "What did you say?" If you read his mouth,
Exactly.
he said, "What did you say?"
What
And
did
next
you
thing you
say?
know, boom.
yeah. So he's been suspended, and ultimately now, as we look at it, I am not unfortunately following NCAA and Division One because we're getting ready to go into March Madness. What are Michigan's chances to make it to the playoffs?
They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna beat Carolina. And the thing is that I like them. I really like them. But this is
Yeah.
something maybe you guys are not on. I'm right now watching UConn and Villanova, and
Mhm.
halftime, and Bobby Hurley just got ejected. He just got into the face of the ref and the coach at the sideline at halftime. So what this is going to do right now is going to
Mhm.
set a new precedence. And I
Yeah.
guarantee it's going to
Mhm.
set a new precedence of how these coaches going to interact, how they're going to
Mhm.
talk, and it
Mhm.
may even, we're in a situation now. As much as we want to shake hands and leave the floor, it is almost going to become professional. Where when the game is over, you're going to turn and wave at the other team and go ahead and go in your locker room. And I hate that because that's not what you teach the 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old in high
Mhm.
school.
Right.
But it's a function of society. It is society kind of going back. It is society kind of reflected on the floor. Let me ask. Let me talk about something else a little bit different, a little bit more exciting. We had an All Star game over the weekend. There were players
Yes,
and people
it
there.
was.
And you saw me cover my eyes.
Watch you cover your eyes.
Because that dunk contest, I would have rather watched my grad about my couple of my players in the college gym or my granddaughter on her little Nerf hoop dunk the ball better than come on now. You got Toby, Cole Anthony rather, nine attempts to make one dunk. Now I know they changed the rules and there's no more set time limit, but come on, Val, come on, Mike. If you got to take 9 attempts to dunk the ball, physically, if you are at that table scoring from 0 to 10, are you really going to give this kid a good score?
Probably not.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
and Gardis, your friend Mike says that this was the worst dunk
Absolutely.
contest of all time.
I
You know
mean,
You
it's
guys
bad.
agree?
the skills contest was more
Yes.
exciting.
You know
Okay.
it's bad when they say put the 3-point contest last. When they tell
Okay.
you to
It's the
put,
highlight. Now the league
hey,
has changed. It's the highlight.
hey, it's the highlight. But as the All-Star game as a whole, I thought it was great. I love the change. Big shout out. Big shout out to my guy, Winston Garland. What's up, baby? I'm gonna give a big shout out to you and and your son. Darius Garland here, Nashville bound, Brentwood Academy, point guard, starting for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hey, he did his thing in the All-Star game. It was great. And what I do respect, Mike, think about it like this. What I love to change what the NBA has done. These guys play 4 quarters, but at the end of each quarter is worth 100 grand to
Oh
the to the
wow.
to the donation. So when they finish each quarter you win $100,000, and the team that's got the lead or win that quarter, then the money goes to the donation of your favorite charity. That is sweet. And then you play that 4 quarter, and then the Elam effect, which is what Ice Cube got into TBT, comes into effect. Now you got a point that you got to reach, and once you reach that point, game's over.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
wow.
real nice.
Yeah, I saw in the comments it mentions it mentions something else that's not actually a sport. Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to the Pro Bowl's not supposed to be a sport. That's an honor to the players to fly them out to Hawaii and people can get autographs if they go there, and then all
Right.
of a sudden they decide to have a scrimmage on TV.
Right.
I mean,
Family chilling on the beach.
I think I must have been like about 5 or 6 years old the last time the Pro Bowl was actually a game.
Right.
I think that's back when the Bears had defense, and you were seeing the Bears defense in the Pro Bowl. They would try to hit people, and they were
Exactly.
like, "Oh no, we can't do this anymore. This is supposed to be exhibition."
But
You
we
can't come out
don't
of this
know.
game
We
with
don't know not to
injuries.
hit.
Yeah,
We
we
know it.
can't.
Hey, I coach. I got Mike Dick in my coach. I don't know nothing but to hit you.
You send Fensick to a Pro Bowl, he's gonna try to hit somebody and crack them in the chest. I mean,
Right.
they had to stop doing that.
Doug Plank. Or Doug Plank. Plank and Fisher. Oh,
Blank, exactly. You had to sit there, you had to stop doing that. So Pro Bowl is not really a sport; it's just an exhibition game. The NBA contest is watchable, and
well, come
a
on.
good
What do you
thing.
think about Robert Anthony
Take the
Towns
carry.
winning the 3-point contest? Though he's only the second 7-footer besides Dirk Nowitzki who's won that, and that was pretty exciting
Game has
for the
changed.
simple fact. Hey, I like that.
Game
And
has
then
changed.
Steph showed out.
I mean, the game has changed. I mean, Joker can go inside, Joker can go outside. I mean, ever since the whiskey, I mean, I think we've really seen a kind of change in terms of height and shot. Height is almost irrelevant. It's the skill. So
Right.
that's why I really gravitated toward the skills contest, and I was excited to watch that. I mean, it was oddly paired with the brothers against like the Cavs against like I don't know how they did it, but it was still interesting.
But I got
So
a
as
question.
we
I got a question for you and Val. I don't know if
okay,
you guys knew this.
okay.
What do you think about? It's a 2-part question. One, what do you think about the no-show from of all other your boys, Scottie Pippen? And two, did you hear that he showed up at the All-Star game, tried to get in the Michael Jordan party, and was denied?
Yeah, did we yeah, that's gas. That's what's the gas face? I don't that's
Hey,
no.
that's third base, the gas
That's third
face.
face. That's the gas face. That and as I'm sorry, and as we wrap up, and NBA is getting ready to come back strong because usually when they do the All-Star in Cleveland, they have a little bit of a break, and then NBA comes back. I believe the Bulls are number one in.
No, they're number 2. They're second
number
place.
2. Who's number 1?
2-1-2 day.
Yeah, they're number 2 right now. The number 1 team in the East is Philly.
Okay, so what are Chicago's chances to make it to the playoffs? What do you think?
Oh, they're going to make the playoffs. Their chances to win the Eastern Conference is going to be high. I think you're going to see Philly, the Bucks, and the Bulls are the 3 going to fight out for that championship. I think Brooklyn is done since they traded James Harden. Plus, I like what the Bulls just did in the pickup that they've got. The Lakers are done. I do like what LeBron told everybody. You know, this goes to show you the power of LeBron James. He basically told the NBA, my son is going to get picked up in 2 years because when he goes to the league, whatever team he gets picked up on, I'm going to go play for them. So think about that. I would tell, and this goes back, Mike, when you and I talked a few weeks ago about, I forgot I think it was NCAA football we were on a few weeks ago. We were talking about bad teams and trying to get that draft pick. So if I'm the general manager next year, whoever I'm coaching, I'm saying, hey, listen, Val, listen, Mike, you the coach of my team, but I'm gonna need you to go 0-82 and set a history because I want the number 1 pick, which is going to be LeBron James' son. We're going to then get LeBron James, and then he's going to bring 3 or 4 pros with him, and then I'll be the coach of the year and the general manager of the year because I'll be the first team in history to go from 0-82 to the finals.
Well, Brian Flores wouldn't do it, so I don't know. You gotta really convince.
Hey, that's football. Hey, that's football.
Back. You gotta convince somebody they're coming back that next year after that offer season. I don't know about that one.
Well, it's gonna be hard, but Val, I'm telling you right now, on the East Coast, I'm taking Bulls, Milwaukee Bucks, Bulls and the Bucks rather going back to the Eastern Coast finals against one another, and in the West Coast, it's gonna be Golden State and Phoenix.
All right, guys, you heard it. I'd go ahead and write that down. And this is a great time to get the track. And guys, thank you so much, Coach Tony. Woo! We appreciate you. All right,
Appreciate
we're
you
going
guys, family.
All right.
we'll go ahead and have you back. Thank you so very much. It is. Woo! Coach. Getting the education over here. Oh my goodness.
There will be playoff basketball for you to enjoy. For sure.
And I'm excited about that. But and as we pivot here, the did you see Genius? Because I watched it. I don't know about you, but did you watch the Kanye West doc Genius?
Absolutely. New episode coming on tomorrow on Netflix. Part two, Purpose Nia. First part was Vision. Did you see the vision?
I did, and I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause it right here. When I saw uh, him and his mom, I was tearing up because I just saw how much he loved her and how much she
Hmm.
loved him, and just kind of she was trying to rap a little bit, and you're like, wow, this was a really intimate look. Just like they traveled. He was in New York. He came back home, and she's like, yeah, and we're gonna do this, and I was just like, if I was Kanye, I'd be so happy to be able to look back at this footage and just be like, wow, this is my mom, and this is what she believed in. But to me, it set the tone for the entire first part. Is that we get to
Hmm.
see Kanye literally hustle to make it into the pros, and they were taking him seriously as a producer, but as a rapper, wasn't nobody trying to hear from him.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
Mhm.
this is one of those rare times that we get to see someone before they quote unquote bake it and on that grind to get there. We also get to see why Mr. West has named his current album after his mama.
His
The next
mom,
album is coming is also named for his
after his
mama.
mom.
And who knows what the third one might be called, because
Oh,
what there's only one person on earth that could ever look at that man and tell him a giant looks in the mirror and sees nothing.
look at what Garda said. He said he was in Miss West's English class at
Miss
Chicago State.
Miss Donda West.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
things that what she was instilling in him. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's residue. He has obliterated a lot of it, but there's still some residue, and I think that maybe there is value in the timing of this. Maybe this will keep him from getting
Yeah.
arrested. Maybe this will calm him down and bring him back to earth so that he stays, with us a little bit longer, because his path is not looking pretty. It looked like his path was headed toward a light at the end of it, and that light was a train heading right to him.
And Kevin is saying that he's got to check this out. He's enjoying it. And he said he found himself appreciating the album College Dropout and Graduations because I think who was that? Scarface passed on Jesus Walks. Remember he was trying to in the first part he was trying to, he had the beats and he was like, Scarface was listening. He was like, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Jesus Walks.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, what you expect it to be? I mean, there's some creativity, as you know, as a filmmaker, that there
Hmm.
was a little bit of licensing there. There was a
Hmm.
Complex magazine did a story since the first episode aired, talking about the scenes that you see in which Kanye is going from room to room, playing all falls
Yes.
down to people pretty
Hmm.
much ignoring him, and they kind of explain the background, the process that was going on at Rockefeller, the fact that he did this a lot. He apparently,
Hmm.
would display music without an invite, without, going through their protocol. He got excited. He was like, "You got to hear this." So nobody's checking for it at all. They're trying to like. I think the complex article talks about the fact that at that time they were on a rollout for Cameron. Now that sounds crazy now,
It
but you have
does.
to
It
remember
does.
how popular Cameron was at
At the
that time.
time. Well, yeah.
And that fool could
Yeah.
barely put three words together, and all three words rhymed with each other because Val they were the same word. So Cameron was a big star then. They were trying to
Mm-hmm.
roll him out. They weren't checking for this producer. I mean, did he have another beat for Cameron to rap over so that there would be more diplomats? Did he have something for Mace for Harlem World? I mean, this was not what they were looking for. There's so much here. There's so
It
much here.
is, and I'm excited to see what the next two parts bring. And I feel like as it said in the chat, I think was it Tony or was it Kevin? They both said yes. In fact, Kevin's saying shout out to Cody for recording Kanye's come up. It's just he literally documented some really good. And it's weird that he was focused. He talked about how he was a comedian on the rise. He was doing, work here in Chicago and kind of going around with that. And then he just decided, you know what, I'm gonna switch my focus to Kanye. And my gosh, look at who you switched off to. This was a genius in beat making. This someone that was so driven. And if no other message comes out of this, and definitely with everything that's going on with Kanye now, this is a wonderful demonstration of don't give up on your dreams no matter how many times you have been told no. You believe in your talent, you go for it, and surround yourself with people that are going to help you, that it's going to cheer you on. And that's what it looked like. He surrounded himself with that when he was in New York. He surrounded himself with that in Chicago. And I looked at the timeline of when he was in New York, and that was probably around the same time that I disappeared to New York, 2001, 2002. So I was like, wow, look, check this out. So I was very just excited, all of the parallels of life. But
There were
I'm
more.
rooting for
I'm
Kanye.
gonna
I'm
mention
rooting for
some of the
Kanye.
other ones that you probably won't get into, I guess. But the fact that they started on Channel 21 and Can,
I know about that.
y'all
I
don't
know
know.
about that. I know
Val
all
knows all
about
about
that.
Can. Okay, then that was
I do.
Chicago Access Network. That was
There
the
you
local
go.
video opportunity for people to get their hands on cameras to go
That's what I
shoot
did.
and
Mm-hmm.
possibly get their programs aired, get their
Mm-hmm.
broadcast on the local access cable channel. You did a little bit of that, didn't you?
I did that for over 6 to 7 years and broadcast my cousin's ministry for 2 years before I came to New York. So, yes, I totally understand it. So, Cody, I am looking forward to seeing part 2 and 3. Genius is currently, the first episode is up on Netflix. What else is going on, Michael?
What else is going on?
What else is
Well,
going on? Because I think we
well,
got to know.
this weekend we're gonna have some of the Black People Awards. The Black People Awards are back. Finally, okay, it's time for the 53rd annual NAACP Image Awards, and they're going to be broadcast on 8 Eastern, 7 Central this Saturday,
Mhm.
26 on BET. You can bet on it. This is now this is going to be the first award show with the NAACP on BET, which is part of the Paramount family,
Mhm.
since the NAACP signed a partnership deal with CBS to
Mhm.
create original content across their platforms. So the NAACP are not only been giving out image awards for the last 53 years. Starting after this year, they're also going to be trying to create some of those positive images,
Mhm.
so that we get more of that variety, more of that variation in terms of what we get to see on our big and small screens. Okay,
Mhm.
so this show is going to be hosted, as many have been in the past, by Mr. Anthony Anderson, who seems to be
Woo!
everywhere, even on my television right now, it looks like. He's going to be honoring one of the honorees for the Image Awards will be Mr. Capital One. What's in your wallet? It won't be Samuel L. Jackson because he'll be on the stage receiving the
Hmm.
Chairman's Award
He
for
should
his
be.
body of work. I mean,
He should be.
he's been doing it for a long time, and if
Over 100 credits on his Internet Movie Database page. Over 100 movie credits. That's just
and if you
movie.
let him, he'll tell you that he is the most bankable star in Hollywood.
Yes,
If you
he
let him tell
will.
you, he will certainly let you know that
Yes, he
because he
will.
is. By numbers, he definitely is. Now you have to remember the NAACP Image Awards is not just about celebrities. It's also about some of the people that do the grassroots work of the NAACP and to
Hmm.
fulfill their mission to make this society, the one that we're living in, more righteous and just for all of the people. So they're also going to be honoring some activists as well as entertainers. And it makes sense because maybe they got distracted. The Best Picture Award nominees, to me, don't make any sense. But I'm
Yeah, I
going to
was
tell
checking
you.
that out. You go ahead
Did
and
you see
read
it?
those. Yeah, go ahead and read
Yeah,
those.
yeah. It's so the nominees are for Best Motion Picture: King Richard, okay, Will Smith, right? Already
Hmm.
won an NAACP award earlier this week. Respect, which is the Aretha Franklin movie with
Okay.
J. Hud, Jennifer Hudson. The Harder They Fall, which was awesome on Netflix.
Hmm.
Now, the next two include Judas and the Black Messiah and the United States versus Billie Holiday. Now,
Hmm.
what year is it?
It was 2022,
Okay, when
and
did
these
those come
movies were made in 2020, was nominated in 2021, and I feel like
out?
this is CP time, as you said.
You stole my line, girl. We'll talk after the show. You stole my line. Yeah. So the NAACP is on CP time for some weird reason. I
That
guess
means
Oscar
colored
is not
people.
so white. So the Image Awards they have some diversity. I think one of the interesting categories I will mention to you and see what your take on it is outstanding
Mhm.
comedy series.
Okay.
You've got Blackish, you
Yeah.
got Harlem,
Okay.
Insecure, Run the
Okay.
World, and The Upshaws, which is
Okay.
on Netflix. Which I think you and me are the two people that saw it, along with Kim Fields' family. Well, so
I
what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Now see, this is it. Now I didn't for some reason I misread Insecure. I did not see that.
It's
Um,
there.
I bel I believe if people have nostalgia and some type of sentimental, the very last time Blackish can be nominated for this category will be this year because as you know, as of right now, currently, this is the last season for Blackish. So no, Blackish won't happen
Right?
after
We had the
after
last
the
season for
season.
Insecure as well.
And the
Insecure also
same
walked
is
off.
also for
On
Insecure.
set.
So I feel like those 2 are probably gonna be the votes are gonna be neck and neck, and I think it's gonna lean in the direction of Insecure. However, I like the Upshaws. I'm glad it was renewed, but I believe the battle is gonna be between Blackish and Insecure because these 2 wonderful written comedies, dramedies, I like to call them in some aspects, this is the last time they can be nominated for this category at the NAACP Image Awards for
Now,
this
do you think
category.
it matters if that Anthony Anderson is the host?
No, it does not. It does not
So
bear
you think
with
they'll give it? You think they would give the award to Issa even though they'll skip over their own host?
Yeah, because they might give him the NAACP award for whatever else he's nominated in. And then, oh my gosh, I was watching the Super Bowl commercials and I saw him twice, and the second time I saw him he was being advertised for the new Law and Order. I'm like, he's already segued into his next situation. Go Anthony, let's go, let's get it.
Yeah. Well, he's also the host of To Tell the Truth, right?
Yeah, he sure is. Yeah, he is. Oh, what is this? Some awards are doing 2 awards because of the pandemic. where they were grabbing nominations for both years. Thanks, pandemic. So that's probably Mark just gave a thought process.
I don't know about that one. I
I
think
don't
that's
think was the NAACP Image Awards. Did it happen last year? Did it happen in 2020? I'm not sure. I gotta look. I don't remember. I don't know.
regardless. So I mean, I saw both of those other two nominees, but I am barely remembering them.
You know
So
what?
I know that they were interesting, but I remember now last year we talked
We
about the fact that they were omitted. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we did. And maybe this is what happened. Maybe a stink was made behind closed doors and was like, how come you all didn't recognize these two movies? And they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll come back and do it for
Yeah,
next year.
but they're
Mm,
DOA now. I mean, we had a whole year. I mean, if either one of those wins this year, that's an indictment on a whole year of creativity. Because we've had a whole lot that came out since then. Yeah, I just don't think we can blame the fan. I mean, it's nice. I mean, if I was their, spokesperson for the NAACP, I certainly would say something like that. Well, I mean, it's really hard to kind of figure out what's going on and this and that. But the Oscars got it right.
yeah, they did. The Oscar and
They
they
never
yes,
get it right.
exactly. Who were the other winners? Because what they're doing with the NAACP is that the Image Awards, it's literally starting. It started yesterday and going
Yeah,
through
they
until
started
they
giving
air.
out. Will
So,
Smith has won an award for his autobiography. That woman is going to get a special social. What's the term? I want to get it right. Is the special social justice impact award. That is our friend, my friend. She won't return my tweets anymore. But anyway, that's Nicole Hannah Jones, New York Times writer. She the bright red hair, trademark hair, is the driving force behind the 1619 Project, which has also won outstanding literary work nonfiction. Yes,
and
it is
then
that 1619 Project that y'all been hearing about. Your coworkers talk smack about, and how that's not when America started, when actually it was.
and
Anyway,
then and then you had Will win for doing his biography, Will.
yes, yes, in
And then
which Will shared way too much. We'll stay away from that. I think Jamel Hill is probably unbothered by the fact that she won a NAACP award. And your friend, hey, the big news today, really, Val, was
oh, I
about your
know. And
friend
this is
Sherry Shepard.
yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about this. Now they this is what I am so grateful. I am such a
Val
Sherry
has a
Shepherd
woman crush
fan.
on Sherry Shepard.
I
I
have
have
a
a
girl
man
crush.
crush on her.
I have a
So
girl
at some
crush.
point we can kind
Yes.
of tag team. That's at least in my anyway. Go ahead.
So what I was going to say is I heard them prepare something to say that they were going to win because they won outstanding podcast, lifestyle and self-help, two funny mamas. And literally Sherry has been on the grind for a long time and she had been
Yes.
trying to and so I was watching Wendy Williams earlier and then she literally made the announcement stating that she's going to be coming back as the host and it'll be called Sherry. And
Yeah.
I am
Congrats to
thinking,
her.
wow. And what's happening
New
now is
show.
that the Wendy Williams show will be ending, but I know people are looking at her grind. She does this podcast. She's on a couple of Netflix shows. Anytime they need her to guest co-host on The View, she's there. Like they see that she's a hard worker,
She
and
started on the View.
she started on The View, and definitely.
I
So I
watched the View. I don't know about you. I was watching for Sherry. I like when they
yeah.
put it on the end of the table, but I'll leave that alone too.
Oh,
Somebody,
wait a
somebody
minute. Now we got Mark saying she won't return his tweets either.
Nah,
Nat
you talking
Harris,
about
right, in
Nicole Hannah.
person.
Nicole Hannah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. She got a little big. She got a little big. but
Yeah.
she still has one of the best Twitter handles ever. I'll mention it. I know I mentioned it before. Nicole
Uh,
Hannah Jones' Twitter handle is Ida Bay
Ida B
Wells.
out of Bay.
Ida Bay Wells. BAE.
So here's a question. Here's a question for you, Mike. As I put this up here tomorrow, we got hashtag Wamble Wednesdays. What you gonna be talking about tomorrow, Mike?
I'm gonna be talking about guilty pleasures because I got to
Okay.
get into some guilty pleasures. And
Okay.
our earlier conversation confirmed that. So
Okay.
I tried to watch the slam dunk contest, and it quickly my ADD kicked in, and I had to watch my show. And I'm
What
gonna
show
talk
is this?
about my show tomorrow. Oh, I don't know if I should even get into it today because I really shouldn't be watching the show, but I watch it
Uh
every
oh.
week.
Uh oh.
And at
Uh oh.
times, my students and I have conversations after class about what happened. I had to be really quiet this week because a bunch of people didn't see it over the weekend. So it's
Okay.
my show.
All right. And I want to make
My
sure that
only
I
hint is that the star of the show, her name starts with a Z, and I'll leave it at that.
okay. All right. And then Mark put in the chat about Malcolm. Malcolm
Yes,
X.
yes.
Um yeah,
Yesterday.
yesterday.
So
Mhm.
February 21st, for those of you who don't know, is the day in which Malcolm X was assassinated. Now that
Mhm.
day especially is poignant this year because finally, finally, the person who was wrongfully uh, imprisoned for that act is been released, was released from prison.
He
Now,
was?
yes, he was. He was exonerated finally. For
Mhm.
many years, many of us understood it and looking at that case that there was no way in the world that that man did that. Other people cocked to
Mhm.
it, etc. Here's the problem now, right? So there's really been no justice. Now,
Mhm.
there really wasn't any justice done in the first place, and there certainly isn't any now. I do acknowledge that, and I saw it there. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Yes, we were mentioning that this was the day that, and I should correct myself. This was the day. Yesterday was the day that El Haj Malik Shabazz was assassinated because that was his name at the time. That's where he
Mhm.
had moved in terms of his whole life's journey. He had gone to Mecca and come back. He had seen Islam in a different way. He saw it as a religion of peace. He saw it as a way that people of different ethnicities, different colors could come together. And he also came back to America wanting to really firm up the OAS. He wanted to bring these African states, these people of our diaspora together and to make that a worldwide movement. And sadly, just like with Dr. Martin Luther King, when you step beyond the United States and start talking about international work, trying to make a difference in the world, your time is limited on this earth.
Mhm.
So we do remember him. I think of him more on May 19th. That's the day I
Me
think more
too.
about
Me
Malcolm X
too. In May.
than yesterday.
Mhm.
But I do we should acknowledge it. Should acknowledge it for sure.
Yeah. So when we do hashtag Womble Wednesdays, what will happen is we will be talking about, you will be presenting when we say, hey, is the podcast done? And then the podcast will be done. Whoa.
Ish.
And
And the podcast is gonna be about what?
the podcast is going to be about saving money. It'll be dropping,
Saving. Dropping
dropping.
that money in that piggy bank, right? In
We're
that
in,
bank account.
what are we doing right now? We're in a financial literacy series. Last week we did making money matter, and this week it'll be saving money matters. Shaltrice Chandler, she is the author of the children's book Money is Good, Kelsey 100, and she's a content creator. She's got the best TikTok videos that show you This would should you go and spend your money at the restaurant, or should you try to do something with an investment circle? Like, you should figure out what you should be doing with your money, which is wonderful. And if you're trying to figure out how to save, she is the person that has figured it out, and she wants us to teach our children that. So it's a wonderful thing. I'm going to be chit chatting with her. And like I said, this episode of Talk on Tuesday is brought to you by her, Your Gal Shall, the one stop
My
shop
God.
to buy books and download resources. Learn more about Your Gal Shall and how she's building the next generation of wealth, one day at a time, $1 at a time. Go and visit Your Gal Shall. And we want to also say we are grateful. If you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button.
Hit
Thank
the
you so
like
much,
button.
Your Gal
Like it,
Shall.
like
Yes,
it,
hit the
like
like button and subscribe.
it.
We're at 137 subscribers. We are so appreciative of
Money is
every
good.
subscriber. And then also, we are also currently streaming on LinkedIn as well as
Did she? Oh no, not the freeze. Not the freeze.
oh we're
Not
we're
the
oh
freeze.
we're currently we
You
I
back?
think
You
I have
back?
frozen, so that's the
You
horrible
have
thing.
frozen. I can
So
hear you
yes, we're
though.
currently streaming on LinkedIn as well as our Facebook
Let's
group,
see.
and we are also streaming on YouTube. So Michael, can you what's your name again?
My name is not Val the Voice Johnson. Voice so cold, it's ice cold. This has been Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesday with Valarie Johnson. Thank you all so much for coming out today. We appreciate it. Yes, we're streaming. Oh my goodness, we're everywhere. To everybody, for myself, for Val, for Coach Tony, peace. Have a great night.